Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. You know, my son came up to me the other day and he says, "Dad, they're teaching us all about cloning in school, but I don't understand it." Well, son, that makes two of us. Today, we're taking a look at the 1 to 4 player game, Rob Zombie's House 1000 Corpses by Trick or Treat Studios. It's Halloween Eve, 1977. You and 3 of your fellow friends are the Firefly family, a brood of psychopaths in Ruggsville, Texas. Now, you're trying to capture as many victims as possible to fill your blood meter. Will that happen? Will you be successful? Or will you fail and too many people escape the house? Let me explain how this game plays, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. So to play the game, what you're going to do is you're going to take an action that's in your action chain, all right, in one of your cued cards, and you're going to spend a number of cubes for that action equal to 1, where the card is, and 2, depending on what you want to do. All right. So if the card's in the leftmost slot, it's just going to cost you whatever the regular action is. But if it's in any of the right 4 slots, it's going to have an additional cost of 1 or 2 cubes. All right. Now, what actions can you take? And I'm going to assume all the cards are going to be in the leftmost slot for this, for the purposes of this. First, there's the move action. All right. So to move, what you're going to do is you're going to spend a number of cubes equal to the number of spaces you want to move. So you take those cubes, slide them over to your use section, and then you move that number of spaces. But you don't have to move all of the spaces. Don't spend the extra cubes if you don't want to. The next action is search. If there's no barrier card that's on top of the search deck of the room that you're in, then you can search. And to search, what you do is you spend a number of cubes equal to how many cards you want to search. And you have to reveal that number of cards. So if you spend 2 cubes to search, you have to reveal 2 cards regardless of what the outcome is on the first card. All right, you just have to do it. Now the next action is going to be the kill action. Now to kill a victim, what you have to do is you have to be in their space and you have to spend cubes equal to the heart rate of the victim. So if it's a 3 heart rate, you have to spend 3 kill tokens or 3 kill cubes in order to kill that victim. Now, when you kill a victim, what you're going to do is you're going to be able to place a corpse token in any one of the empty spaces that's somewhere on the board. You put it face up. Your blood meter is going to go up 1 position, and you're going to get a number of trophy cards equal to whatever the blood level is of that particular character. And I'll cover trophy cards here in a little bit. Now, the last action you can take is the capture action. Now, the capture action, what you have to do is you have to be in the character space. All right. And then you spend a number of cubes equal to whatever the heart meter is on the victim. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put the card at the very far right of your track, at the end of your track, okay? And you have to now, at this point, what you have to do is you have to get that victim out of the house. Once you can get them off the front or back porch and off of the board, then what you're going to do is you're going to get a number of blood points equal to whatever their heart rate is. So if it's a heart rate of 3, you're going to go up 3 points. But in this case, you don't put corpse tokens down, and you also don't get any trophies, all right? But you're going to get that blood meter up a little bit faster. So that's your capture. Now, the other thing you're going to find is on top of a lot of the search decks at the beginning of the game, you're going to see item cards. Now, if you're in a room with an item card and it's face up, you can instantly take it. If you have an open spot on your board, you just place it face up on your board. If you already have an item on your board, then you have to put it in your hand. You can only swap out your item cards during the recovery round. All right. If there happens to be a trophy card on top of the deck, you can take that and put it in your hand. You have a hand limit of 5 for your trophy cards, and you can spend those at any time, even on other players' turns. Now, if there's a barrier card, the barrier cards are going to require you to spend either kill cubes or capture cubes. And what you do is it's going to say on the card how many you have to spend. So you basically take, say, the capture action, spend the number of cubes, and the barrier goes away, and now you can search that deck as normal. Same goes with the kill. You spend a number of the cubes that it says, take that particular action, and you're good to go. Now, whenever you fully complete an action, okay, and when you after you're finally done resolving it, that's when that card is going to slide into the very far right of the track, and all the cards are going to slide down. So if you capture a victim, the victim is going to go to the end of the line. Then you're going to take that capture card, you're going to pull it out, slide everything down, and the caption card is going to go on the very end. Then, okay. Now the thing with capturing is it's going to it's going to kind of plug up things, so it's going to make things more expensive. But and you can only have one captured victim at a time, but it's a way to get more blood tokens or get your blood meter up a little bit higher. So it's one of those things you're just going to have to do. You cannot win this game by just killing people alone, because if they have a heart meter of 5, you still only get 1 point if you kill them. So you cannot win this game killing alone. You have to capture. All right. The next thing is that you're going to get is also trophies. Now, trophies you can spend at any point in time, like I said. And what they're going to do is they're going to give you bonus action points towards things. Sometimes it may just be for recovery. Sometimes it may be it's going to give you like 2 points towards moving in or something along those lines. It's just going to give you those nice little bonuses. All right, and you can just use them as you want. Now, the difference between trophy and items is if you have an item that's going to give you a bonus, say an item is going to give you a bonus move of 2. All right, you still have to spend 1 cube, and then you can take the 2 bonus on top of that. Whereas trophies, you don't have to do that. Now, the last thing in this game that I'll really talk about is going to be the detective. Now, the detective is going to start somewhere on the board, all right? And he's going to move around the board. And what he's going to do is if he runs over corpse tokens or he runs over victims, then what he's going to do is he's going to rescue them. If he happens to rescue 3 victims and then they're going to leave the house, you're instantly going to lose, all right? If 3 people escape, it's game over. All right, so get that blood meter up. Don't let him escape. The other thing is if he runs over a corpse token, he's going to instantly flip it over and it's no longer going to stall the victims. Now, what's the benefit to the corpse tokens? The corpse tokens, if they're in any one of the places on the board and a victim has to move and they move to a corpse token, they have to spend one of their move points to flip the token over. They just get the heebie-jeebies, man. They're just scared stiff and they just can't really move. But what's going to force the victims to move? All right. That's what we're going to talk about, the Run Rabbit Run cards. Now, the Run Rabbit Run cards, what's going to happen is anytime you're doing a search and you draw a Run Rabbit Run card, then you're going to resolve one of those cards. Or if you discover a victim, then you're also going to draw a Run Rabbit Run card. Now, how those work is whenever you have to draw a card, you flip it up and you're going to go from top down. And it's going to say what happens to all of the characters that are 4 health, are 3 health, are 2 health, and it may actually have the detective on there as well. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to cause them to, usually it's going to cause them to run to one of the exits. You're going to notice the icons are different on the exits. That back porch has got a little triangle, whereas the front porch has got 3 little lines on it. So pay attention to that. And they're going to take the shortest path they can to that exit. Now, sometimes they might actually want to hide. Well, if they want to hide, what they're going to do is they're going to move, and victims all have a movement equal to whatever their heart rate is. They're going to move in, as to the first room or the closest room they can get to that doesn't have a face-up card on the search deck. And if they can make it to that room, you're going to shuffle the card in. If there's no rooms that have a face-down card, then they're just going to go to the closest room that doesn't have anybody in it, and they're just going to stay in that room and they're just going to hide. Okay, they're still available to be captured. You still know where they're at. They can't find a place to hide. All right, so sometimes they're out in the middle of the hallway. Sometimes they're in a room. Sometimes they hide themselves back in the deck. You never really know where they're going to be. And like I said, the last one is on the board. It's the detective. The detective is just going to have a letter, and he's just going to go from letter to letter, flipping over all the corpse tokens and revealing all of the or rescuing all the victims. Also, if he ends a room that has a barrier, he will automatically remove that barrier as well. Now, if you're ever in the same space as the detective, the only thing that you can do is move. You can't do anything else. One of the exceptions is, say you're in the middle of doing a search, you still have a couple cards you got to flip over, you draw a Run Rabbit Run card, and it brings the detective into your room. You still have to flip over those next couple cards and then resolve them, but the next action you spend has to be to move. All right. Now, you're going to take as many actions as you want on your turn. When you decide that you don't want to take any more actions, then what you're going to do is you're going to pass. You're going to take your player token and you're going to move it to the end of the line, and it's the next person in line that's going to take their action. And you can determine what order you guys want to go at the beginning of the game. Once the next person's done, then they're going to go to the back and it's going to go to the front. And you're going to keep going around and around and around again until everybody passes consecutively. Once everybody passes consecutively, then you're going to go to the recharge round. Now the recharge round, this is where you're going to get some of them cubes back. You're going to notice in the upper right-hand corner of your U section, you're actually going to have a number. And that's the number of cubes you're going to get back. All right, if it's 5, you're going to get 5 back. If you spent 7, you're still going to have 2 short. Some items are going to give you some recharge bonuses, and also some trophies are going to give you some recharge bonuses. So you move the cubes over. The cubes that are still in place, you have to leave those where they're at, but the ones that recharge, you can filter those in however you like and put them in any spot that you like. And then you take your 4 cards and you put them wherever you need to. Now, if you are searching and you draw, during your turn, you draw a condition card. A condition card is going to go to the end of your line, and it may say you lose cubes of one shape or another. During the recharge phase, those go away. Any victims that you're carrying that you have captured, though, they stay with you, and they will actually go to the front of the line, making it more expensive to do all of your actions until you can get them off your board. Now, the one thing I didn't talk about was burning cards, because burning cards is actually kind of important. You can actually burn a card at any point in time that you want to, and you can do one of two different things with it. One, you can use it to move an adrenaline cube. And what that's going to do is that's going to move an adrenaline cube from any one of your spaces to a different space. And you don't even have to do that, but it's going to take a card out of your line and shift all the other ones down. And one of the reasons you may want to do that is, say you need to move or you need to do something, but you're 1 cube short, you might want to burn one of the cards ahead of it. And that way it shifts them down enough to maybe you have enough cubes to be able to do that action. The other thing you can do is you can only do this once per round is you have a special action, and all characters have this special action. And your special action, once you burn a card, put it on there, you just do whatever the special action ability is, and you get, at the end of the recharge phase, you're going to get all those cards back and you're going to be able to reset. But in a nutshell, that's how you play the game, all right? To win the game, you have to get your blood meter up to the top of the line. You got to get it to level 12. If you could successfully do that, you win Rob Zombie's House of 1,000 Corpses. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was a really long, high-level explanation of how the game plays. I know I missed a few things, and I got a few things out of order here and there, but for the most part, I think I gave you a pretty good idea of how this game is going to play and what all you need to do. Now, there's a lot going on in this game, but it's actually simpler than what you think. Once you actually start playing it, it's relatively straightforward. The biggest thing to remember is whatever action you want to take, you just have to look at your action line and see where that card is. If it's at the far left, it's just going to cost you a number of cubes equal to whatever it's going to take for that. If it's a move or surge or a kill or a capture, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's in any one of the other spaces, you still have to spend a number of cubes equal to what you want to do in your action, but you have to spend that bonus number of cubes in order to pull off the action. Okay, so those bonus cubes don't count. So if, like, say your card to move is in the +1 bonus spot, and you spend, and you want to move 2 spaces, you got to spend 3 cubes to move those 2 spaces. That third cube doesn't give you the third move. That's your bonus one. So, but otherwise that's basically it. Okay, but you know, this game, honestly though, this game's just a riot. This whole action line, I love action selection lines like this, where you can pick any action you want, but if you keep doing the same action more and more times, it just gets really expensive to do. All right, you need to try to find the items that you need, so that way that are going to help you out, so you can try to get bonus action points. You definitely want to make sure that you're using all of the cubes that you can per round. If you got a recovery total of 8 and you've only used 6 cubes, boy, you left some actions on the board, and you're just going to be behind at that point in time. Okay, and I will tell you, this game is tight. It is really super tight. It's going to come down to the wire whether you're going to win this game or not, because it's that tight. I mean, when you go searching through those decks and you go to try to find a victim, you're thinking, oh great, cool, I found a victim. And next thing you know, you draw a run, rabbit, run card, and that victim moves 3 spaces away, and you don't have any move points left. And now you're hoping the next guy doesn't do a search, draw another run, rabbit, run, and lets that guy move out the door. So you really got to plan things accordingly. You really gotta help each other, and you got to work together, and you got to play to your abilities. It's critical that you do that. You know, if you got a person that's 2 spaces away from a door and they have a health of 3, so you know they're going to move 3, Do you want to do another search action? Do you want to risk possibly having that person run out the door? But then again, maybe they're going to run and hide. You just never know. If no one's escaped, go for it. Give it a run, give it your go, and just see what you can do. But you know what? I thought this game was just an absolute riot. Now, I do have one beef with this game. I have one major problem with this game. And so I've played this game a few different ways. I've played this game solo, and I've played this game with a group of people, with Cody, and I think Al was there, and we all had the same feeling. I love the game. I love the mechanics of the game. I don't like the detective. Now, the detective, they say when you first play the game, don't play with the detective because he's going to make the game harder. And actually, the detective can make the game impossible. I've actually played games where I'll draw a card and that detective just runs over 2 victims in a row on the way out. And if you lose, so he rescues him. So if he rescues, or 3 people get out, it's game over. And if you keep drawing cards that are moving that detective all over the place, it's really hard to win this game. As a matter of fact, playing with the detective, I don't think I've actually won this game. I've only won this game playing without the detective. It is super hard, but it's fun. It's frustrating, and boy, I'll tell you what, it's super frustrating when you're playing with, and that detective's on the board, and he runs over your stuff, and you have everything all planned out, and next thing you know, he just pulls the carpet right out from underneath you, and you're just done. It is, it's frustrating, but it's in a good way as well. I say it's my beef with the game, but I did have fun with it. But I also don't think that I would play with him again because the game is hard enough as it is trying to win. It's easier to win because at this point, all you have to do is just make sure nobody can escape. And they're only going to escape by having the run cards in the search. But then again, you only have 4 turns and you're limited cubes. And when you try to do actions multiple times, they get way more expensive, which makes it even harder. So trying to capture, move them out, it's one of those where you basically have to kill all the low health people, and then you have to capture and try to get out the door all the high health people, and hopefully you can find them all. But then again, the cards may not come up the way you want them to, so you may not be able to do it that way. You have to adjust as needed. But you know what? The game is just a lot of fun. I've had a ton of fun playing this game. I really enjoy it. It's a great cooperative game. You totally have to work together. I love the fact that you can just take one action and then pass. Let everybody else go and then resume your actions later on. See what happens. You don't have to take all your actions at one point in time. I absolutely love that mechanic. I love the action chain mechanic of this game. That's one of my favorite things. I just, to me, it's almost like programming actions, except for you get to decide where they go and they're not coming up blind. Super fun mechanic. All the characters play totally different. Just a super fun, great game. Had a lot of fun with it. It's definitely one of those games I can see putting on the table on Halloween and just having a lot of fun, or Halloween party. It's very thematic that way, and I mean that's just super great. So I think I'm rambling at this point. So let's wrap this baby up. So Cody scale, where am I going to give this game? I thought long and hard about this, and I like the game. If the detective was a little more defined, and he didn't just literally kill you in the game, I would probably rank this game a little higher. To me, this game is going to fall in. It's a 7. I'm rating this game as a 7. If the detective, to me, is fixed, I think he's broken. If the detective was fixed and he played a little bit better and didn't just literally murder your game so bad, I can see this game being an 8. It would just make it that much better. I want to play around with it. I'm probably going to see it about trying to modify him a little bit to where I can get him in my games, still make him to where he's a pain in the butt for me, but he's also not going to just totally ruin a game every single time I play it. So there you go. I'm giving this game solid 7. Well, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we please ask that you like this video on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on Facebook, and also on X. We please ask that you also leave us a comment on those platforms. Let us know your thoughts and your opinions on these games, or even talk about our jokes. We like all of those. And please subscribe to us as well. It really helps us out a lot. And also, don't forget to click that notification bell, and then you get notified whenever new content drops. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you like the content that I provide, I humbly ask that you click on the link below, and that'll take you to a link to my YouTube channel that I'm just starting up. And in there, I'm going to be doing some unboxing videos. I'll be doing some reviews. I'll be doing some playthroughs. And this is stuff that I'm actually going to be pulling stuff out of my own personal collection and showing you folks as well. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you like the content that we provide you here, I humbly ask you to click on the super thanks button and leave a tip. You know, I was going to the movie with my daughter the other day, and she was asking me, Dad, how are we going to sneak this candy into the movie theater? I was like, don't worry. I got a few Twix up my sleeve.
Can you imagine if Gandalf the White and Obi-Wan Kenobi got into a fight? Who would win? I don't know, but I'd pay to see that movie.